I don't know if you guys saw it on the news, but there was this lady who got set on fire in the subway, and unfortunately she passed away. And there are all these so-called alpha male Twitter accounts with massive followings giving their responses on it. They have Alexander the Great, Leonidas, or a picture of themselves holding a cigar on their profile picture saying what they would have done. Saying stuff like, I would have taken off my jacket, covered her with it, put out the fire, and then taken down the attacker. Calling everyone who ran away cowards and that society has fallen and stuff along those lines. I'm all for helping others, but it's really easy to talk when you weren't there and especially after the fact. The first thing we have to take into account is normalcy bias, and people who aren't used to being in tough situations will completely freeze up. Then look at how much of her body was set ablaze. The flames from it were massive. Another thing that people do when they get set on fire is they start running around, and people around don't want anything to do with that. You would have definitely felt the heat even if you were a little bit close to her. It would be very difficult to put out that fire without a fire blanket or a fire extinguisher. Plus, the smoke from it in a closed space would make it very difficult to breathe and would cause serious lung problems. Also, the guy who did it was still there. People would be worried that he would do a follow-up attack with another weapon, or he could have other people with him. I can say with confidence that 99% of these guys talking tough would have done nothing about it. These are probably the same guys who wear t-shirts saying, "Throw me to the wolves and I'll return as the leader of the pack." Or stuff like, "If they stand behind me, I'll protect them. If they stand against me, I'll destroy them." One of the guys commenting on this situation is an ex-UFC fighter who just 2 months ago saw his friend get his tooth punched out right in front of him at a club and stood there utterly confused, didn't do anything. The bottom line is that it's easy to be an alpha online after the fact and when you weren't there. It's a completely different ballgame when you're actually in those situations.